This is that moment when you realize that you filmed an entire video for VEDA and your camera wasn't recording. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I know I said in the last video that I wanted to kick things off by completing the Blog Like a Pro series. Definitely still want to do that. I've just decided that I'm trying out a few things with my lighting and my audio, also with my camera. Right now I'm just using my smartphone, and the audio has just been atrocious. So I really want to make sure that when I really create that video, because I personally feel that it has so much value to it, that I really want to make sure that your experience viewing it is as positive as it possibly can be. So I don't want things like poor audio or poor lighting to affect that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the top 3 biggest mistakes that I personally have made as a blogger. So, as I've talked about before, a little bit in my last video, I've been blogging for a long time, and I definitely feel like I know what I'm doing now, because I've kind of gone down this path for a long time. I've learned both the good and bad things to do, and some of the things that really, have held me back. My goal is to help make sure that you don't have those types of issues when you're launching your own blog. So the first thing that I would say really held me back from being successful with my blogging is consistency, or really lack of consistency. It's really important that people know when you're going to be there, when they can come, and that way they can be invested. Nobody is going to want to invest in me or what I have to teach them if they never know when I'm going to be there. I've had a lot of times where, when I'm in there and I'm blogging all the time, my page views skyrocket. But then I would go on these breaks where life would just kind of get in the way of me being able to consistently produce content, and I wouldn't really have any page views. My, audience just wasn't there, because why should they be? Why should they invest any time or effort into learning from me if they can't take me seriously? So definitely the biggest thing is being consistent, and that really comes from being realistic in your goals or what you plan to accomplish. I think that if you can look at your life and your schedule and on the day-to-day and be realistic. Don't say you're going to blog 5 times a week if really you don't think you have time to sit down and do all the things that you need with your blog, if you really only have a day or 2 to be able to post. So be realistic in your schedule so that your audience can definitely come to a point where they know that they can count on you. Now, the number 2 biggest mistake that I have made in my blogging kind of career would be to underutilize social media. Now, what I mean by that is that I've been really big on Twitter. I've ignored Facebook. I did not go on Instagram until very recently, and I have to say that was probably the biggest mistake. I have the lowest amount of subscribers or followers on Instagram, but the highest engagement, because the people there really want to engage, and it is such a community that people go to, and writing a blog post is only a portion of it. You have to make sure that you have an audience that is wanting to read that, and where do you go to those people? Where do you go find those people? On social media, and you engage with them on social media. That's really where you're going to create this kind of family or tribe, is through your social platforms. And so figuring out which ones are the best for you personally to use for your blog and what you're trying to accomplish. Maybe that's Pinterest, maybe that's Instagram, maybe it's Twitter, or a combination. But definitely just don't underutilize that. Take your time and invest a lot of energy into your social platforms, because that is going to directly affect how many page views you have. And the third biggest mistake that I have personally made in my blogging has been to kind of rush the process. So I get an idea, this is when I want to blog, I look at a bunch of things, I build it, plan it, and then I just start posting and going through the steps just haphazardly. I didn't put a lot of effort into what I was going to even do from the start, let alone on the day-to-day. I never really had a calendar or a content schedule when I first started out. It was just kind of like, I know I want to blog on Mondays, I'm going to do this, and then on Wednesdays I'll just blog about whatever I feel like it, and on Fridays I'll blog about whatever I feel like then. I didn't put a lot of effort or planning into not only the creation of the blog, but also, the execution of what I was going to do on an ongoing, kind of long-term basis. There was no map or plan. It was just kind of like, I have to do a post, I'll write something at 10 o'clock at night and upload it and have a schedule for tomorrow morning, which again leads to lack of consistency, not using social media enough, everything really tied together. So the biggest thing that I can say will help you immensely is going to be planning and really putting time and effort into thinking things through as much in advance as you can. Well, I hope that you found this video helpful. These are definitely 3 things that I have done and learned from, and a lot of what you'll find on this channel is not always going to be that I have all the answers, or that I'm this perfect professional blogger with hundreds of thousands of subscribers and millions of page views, because it's just not the case. I'm just like you. I'm just trying to impart my knowledge and the things that I have learned from actually getting in there and doing it, and what I've learned that's been good, and also what I've learned that's pushed me in the opposite direction of where I want to be. So I really hope that if that this was helpful to you. If it was, please leave me a comment below and let me know kind of what struggles you're having. Of course, give this a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys back here on the next video.